Is it as good as the original? Of course not, but it's still worth taking a look at. Okay, everybody, today we're going back to 1976 to check out the sequel to Westworld, Futureworld. Sometimes forgotten, sometimes overlooked, and that's a bunch of bullshit. But before we go any further, before we move ahead in this at all, once and again, as always, to the trailer.
In 1972, Delos was open to the public. It consisted of 3 fantastic vacation resorts: Roman World, Medieval World, and Westworld. It was a computerized paradise where nothing could go wrong. But something did. Now, in 1976, Delos is about to reopen.
We have invested more than $1.5 billion to rebuild our equipment.
Its problems have been corrected.
We have replaced every circuit.
Its technology has been perfected.
The new Delos is not only the most fantastic resort in human history, it is also fail-safe.
And an incredible new world has been created. American International presents Futureworld, starring Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner, Arthur Hill, and Yul Brynner as the Gunslinger.
Program the blast-off sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Welcome to Futureworld, the ultimate vacation resort, fully programmed for your pleasure, where for only $1,200 per day, you can experience anything you can imagine. And a few things you can't.
My knight to your pawn.
Prepare the Martian ski sequence for 5 guests and return power to grid 3.
Futureworld, where every day is an exciting new adventure, where your fantasies become reality, where highly sophisticated technician, maintenance, and servant series robots work together to make your wildest dreams come true.
Take us both.
You can take risks, face danger, defy death, all in complete comfort and total safety. Safety, safety, safety.
You will never harm Delos.
They're duplicates.
You will do what Delos instructs you to do.
They're creating and programming duplicates of real people.
You will destroy your original.
I will destroy my original.
Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner, Arthur Hill, and Yul Brynner.
Even those of us who create them can't tell the original from the duplicate.
In Futureworld. If you can afford to go there, you're lucky. If you can't, you may be luckier than you think.
Okay, everybody, this motion picture was directed by Richard Heffron. Big name? Not really, but he did some stuff you'll remember. He did I, the Jury. He did the St. Louis bank robbery. He did Outlaw Blues. He did Fooling Around. And he did tons and tons and tons of TV shows and TV movies like V, The Final Battle, and North and South Book 1 and all that kind of shit. So, out there, worked, had a resume, is what it is. He did this. That's all we care about. Let's keep going. Okay, playing Chuck Browning is Peter Fonda. Obviously, long legendary career. Was never really a Peter Fonda fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he's been in a few movies I love. And let's just get to that. He was in stuff like Easy Rider and 3:10 to Yuma, and Wild Hogs, and Ghost Rider, and Escape from L.A., and The Limey, and Yuli's Gold, and Love in a 45. But he was in 2 motion pictures that to me are just legendary, and that is Race with the Devil and Dirty Mary, Crazy Motherfucking Larry. Oh my God, if you haven't seen those, you have to see those. That's all I got to say. Let's keep kicking it. Playing Tracy Ballard was Blythe Danner. Long before Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, with all that kind of shit, and long before she became known as basically being Gwyneth's mom, she was in a whole bunch of shit. She was in stuff like The Last Kiss, and Paul, and Another Woman, and Brighton Beach Memoirs, and The Great Santini, which was just a great flick, and Loving Molly, and Hearts of the West. So she was out there, helping the scene, doing her thing. Okay, playing Duffy was Arthur Hill, a face who popped up a lot back in the day. We're talking about he was in stuff like The Andromeda Strain, which was amazing, and A Little Romance, and The Champ, and The Bridge Too Far, and The Pursuit of Happiness, and about 618 million thousand quadrillion TV show. Oh, and he was in The Killer Elite with James Caan. Are you fucking kidding? That alone, folks, that alone. Okay, playing Dr. Schneider was John P. Ryan. Boom, popped up a lot back in the day. What else can I say? He was in things like The Right Stuff, and Runaway Train, and Bound, and Hoffa, and Best of the Best, and Class of 1999, and Rent-A-Cop, and Fatal Beauty, and 3 O'Clock High. So, hey man, he was around, did a whole bunch of shit. His face popped up back in the day. A lot of times playing a heavy is what it was. Let's keep going. Playing Harry was Stuart Margolin. Now, he's one of those guys that would pop up in shit back in the day, and you knew his face, you knew his voice. As soon as you see him, you say, oh my God. Anyway, bunch of shit. He was in stuff like Death Wish, and Kelly's Heroes, and Class, and S.O.B., which was that crazy comedy where Julie Andrews showed her titties, and The Big Bus, and Iron Eagle 2, and he was on TV in The Rockford Files, and Matlock, and Rhoda, and MASH, Gunsmoke. So, fucking man, he was everywhere. And doing a little guest appearance, it must be noted, as the gunslinger in a dream sequence, is the one, the only, the mighty Yul Brynner. What can I say, folks? We're talking Magnificent Seven. We're talking the Ten Commandments. We're talking the King and I, pardon moi. And we're talking a completely forgotten and overlooked gem, which is just sinful. The Ultimate Warrior. Not that big, jacked up, roid-ridden motherfucker that would do this, the wrestling ropes and everything. We're talking the movie, The Ultimate Warrior. Classic shit, folks. Classic shit. Anyway, let's get to the story. Okay, once again, as always, I'm going to try to do this in 90 seconds or less to keep this moving along, keep everybody entertained, and get to the summation, which is where we really want to be. Anyway, so, you remember what happened at the end of Westworld, right? All hell broke loose? Well, we're going to kind of recap that here. Delos is looking to fire things back up again. They want to have a goddamn compound, a future world, and medieval world, and whatever world, where all their guests can come and stay and interact with robots and live out their wildest fantasies, their wildest sexual mischief, and their wild machismo moments. And trying to get back in favor with the general public is kind of rough, because after Westworld, where, the robots went apeshit crazy for no apparent reason, they don't know why, they never figured it out, and killed a whole bunch of guests and killed a whole bunch of staff, public relations haven't been good. So, their answer to everything is to invite a couple of reporters onto the scene to look around, snoop around, to see the new Delos, the new multi-billion invested Delos, which is going to be the biggest attraction in the world, and is fail-safe. You couldn't get hurt if you wanted to get hurt. So, you basically have Peter Fonda and Blythe Danner. He's a print reporter. She's a TV reporter. And they have a former relationship. They kind of bump socks. You'll get the joke about socks as you watch the movie. Anyway, they have a rub in the beginning, but they start getting along as time goes by. They start investigating this place. Socks is a little bit more like, you know what? I think these guys are okay. I don't think it's that bad. Mr. Fonda, he knows there's something wrong. He starts investigating, looking around, digging into things. Something just ain't right. He starts talking to some former employees. Well, he's still a current employee, but he really doesn't do anything there but hang out in the goddamn catacombs where he can go where things are wet and the robots can't. And they come across an incredible scheme by Delos. An incredible, corrupt idea. And that is that they're going to take all the leaders of the world, remove them, and replace them with robots. And while they're at it, they're going to do it to people of the media too. Take over the leaders, take over the media. You know how that shit goes. Anyway, Chuck, Tracy, they figure out the evil scheme that Delos has. Although Delos doesn't think it's evil, they just think, well, you know, it is what it is. The world will be safer with robots running it than people. Shit, do they got a point? Either way, that's the gist of the movie. Big corporation. This time their robots aren't out of control and just going nuts for no reason. This time they're taking over the world. And will these two reporters, with a lot of sexual tension and a little bit of history, be able to crack the case wide open, get the word back to civilization, and warn the planet? That's about it. Okay, everybody, let's get down to brass taxes. Again, like I said earlier, is this movie better than the original Westworld? No, it's not. But it is fun, it is entertaining, and it is a good watch. Yeah, there's times where the dialogue can be a little bit fucking hokey, which makes Fonda and Danner come off a little bit hokey, but they do their best in the motion picture, and they carry it really well. The whole rest of the cast pulls off their roles. I mean, they all come off as either heavy or affable, which is exactly what they were supposed to do. Part of the movie's fun, though, is that it's one of those 70s motion pictures built on a conspiracy theory. You know how it goes. In the 70s, everything was about this. And in this motion picture, you had a corporation basically trying to take over the world by taking out the world leaders and replacing it with their own people. You're talking James Bond level shit at that point, folks. You're talking that kind of evil villain that's more than just like, you know, somebody dirty Harry has to take out. It's that kind of epic, over-the-top, ridiculous shit that you know and love. And by the way, think of it what you will when you watch it. The score to this is really, really good. The theme, the soundtrack, I really enjoyed it. I thought it nailed it out the park. And I thought to myself as I'm watching it, job well done. What's also fun about this motion picture is watching where it was in 1976 and thinking about where we are now. I mean, in this motion picture, they're talking about things like, you know, the computers up to the brain, and they can actually watch your dreams. I was just reading a report in a magazine not too long ago where they were actually talking about having the technology to do that now, where you can actually see what somebody's dreaming. So there's a lot of the things in this that, as time has gone on, seems to be a little bit more real and less of that super ambitious, well, how are they going to explain this shit, that was taking place in 1976. It's not that far-fetched anymore. Having Yul Brynner pop up again, how can you not love that? I mean, yeah, it's just a dream sequence. Yeah, he's not really in the movie like he was in the first one where he was legendary as the fucking badass gunslinger. But he's in this, does his part, shows his face, makes you feel good for a moment. That's all you really need him for. I mean, you can't just keep bringing him back like the fucking Terminator does and just, you know, recycle. They put him in a nice way. They kicked him out in a nice way. They let the movie go on with new people, new cast, new characters, new everything. And it works a lot because of that. Now, of course, are there things that are just ridiculous and unexplainable? Yes. Let's go. Them going into that one room and just hitting a couple buttons, and all of a sudden, 3 samurais just to fucking appear out of completely nowhere. Nobody knows how they were generated. Nobody, I mean, just happened. You know, whatever. Yes, shit like that is going to be cheesy and corny, but it was a 1976 fucking future sci-fi movie. What more do you want? What do you care? Futureworld works because it's just purely escapism and a good time. You get into the characters too. You know, the Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner fucking relationship. He used to be her boss, but now she's going on to a bigger career than him. They get together, they fight, but they care about each other, they like each other, but they're snarky. He's this like wise-ass, fucking snot-nosed kind of guy, and she's like that little Mrs. Fucking taking shit from nobody, aha, in your face. It's like Sam and Diane from fucking goddamn Cheers. But, wow. I wonder if they really got these characters for Cheers from Sam and Diane. Mother son of a bitch. Either way, take the time out. Take the time out of your day, out of your weekend. Pop it on one night. It's on Amazon Prime right now. You can find it floating around in other places, I'm sure. Watch Futureworld. The effects work. The premise is good. It's well enough acted, well enough directed. The story is good enough. And it's actually a worthy little successor to Westworld, which was its predecessor. And I hate to say this, I actually like it better than that shit that HBO is pumping out now, their version of Westworld, which is just people screaming fuck and running around naked. Not that anything's wrong with running around naked. I'm just saying I prefer this more. Anyway, folks, be good. Have a good one. Take care of yourself. Look out for your neighbor. Always treat everybody around you with love and respect. And above all else, don't ever take any bullshit from anybody. See you soon.